Peter Kling, is Donald Trump insane?
Is he insane?
Is he insane? Did you see the news conference yesterday?
No, he's not insane. Here's the issue.
And it's not that I think he's insane. It's that the media and a fairly large percentage of the population thinks he might be.
No, if the man was insane, how would he be able to build his own empire?
Well, maybe he was sane, and then now he's not sane.
You might have a point that you'd have to be insane to go to run for president these days, wouldn't you?
Well, some people feel that alone means you're leaning to the dark side.
Well, here's the thing. It's like one of your listeners raised and said I should seek psychiatric help.
Yeah, more than one.
Yeah, and people like that just don't have the brain capacity in order to expand their minds enough to realize what the possibilities are. And when we realize what the possibilities are, and I'll say this right off the bat, the more I know I don't know. It's like we know so little about what's around us. I go by a simple rule of thumb. It goes right back to when they were building the Tower of Babel, and Yahuwah comes down and he says, they're all one language. I told them to spread out around the world, and this is what they're doing. He says, so they confuse the languages. But before that happens, he says, whatever they have in their mind, they will be able to accomplish. In other words, whatever we think of, we can do. And even though the technologies don't exist right now in order to accomplish it, we can still think of it. So, we have great minds that think of things all the time, all through history, and they've all been thought to be insane by their peers, but they've been proved to be right. I mean, look at people like Galileo or Copernicus or those. The church wanted to kill those people, because they were heretics with what they were saying, and what the sun revolves around the earth. That's crazy talk. And yet they're proved to be right. But, you asked the question about Trump. The man's got to be above average intelligence. I imagine if you measured his IQ, it would be at least 140, if not higher. He's managed businesses, he's had several businesses. He was in all up and down, but he's a businessman. I've dealt with businessmen virtually all my life. All my professional career. I spent 15 years dealing with company owners and CEOs in the upper echelon of corporations, selling them communication devices and ways to talk to each other. And it's an interesting situation. They're all of the same mindset. They all take control of the situation, and you're there to provide information for them so they can make an intelligent decision. It's just that simple. Provide a good service, and you'll deal with the best people that are out there. And, that's the mindset. The problem is, for the first time in I don't know how long, there's a businessman running the country. And people are freaking out. Why? Because he's not a politician. Now, let me tell you the biggest difference between a politician and a businessman. A politician will not tell you what's on his mind. A politician will glad hand you until he can stab you in the back or turn you inside out or get you over a barrel in order to manipulate you. A politician also has no problem spending all the money he has and you have in order to get to his cause. But he'd rather spend your money as opposed to his money and go from there. So we've had politicians running this country for years, and we're in debt to the tune of what? Close to $20 trillion now? Well, that's insane. So all of a sudden a businessman comes on the helm. You know what businessmen hate? They hate losing money. You know what they like? They love making money. But it goes beyond that. Money's just a scorekeeper.
I think Truman was a businessman. I think he was a hat salesman.
Yeah, come on. We go from a hat salesman to somebody who builds skyscrapers in New York City.
They were both presidents, though.
Yeah, but just the same ethic was there. Now, if you want to bring that up, hey, Truman dropped the bomb on Japan. Just think what Trump might do.
Maybe they're colder. Maybe they're more logical.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing. A businessman dictates. Oh, did I say dictates? Yes. Trump has dictated what he has wanted to be done within his corporation, whether it's to his architects, whether it's to his design people, or whether it's to the staff that runs his hotel. And I wouldn't doubt one bit if Trump didn't get right down there and wash a toilet right next to one of the maids in his hotel. Because that's just the kind of guy that he is. You listen to any of the great business people, and there's a story lacking somewhere where they hired somebody on, and one is, it sticks in my mind, that this guy, owner of a company, very multimillionaire, hires somebody onto the janitorial staff. He went and he showed him how he wanted the bathrooms cleaned. Think about that. He was not above doing the lowliest job. Once upon a time, that was his job. So, now you got this businessman running a country, and all the politicians are freaking out. People around the world are freaking out. Why? Because they're not going to get their handouts anymore. They're not going to get a free ticket anymore. They're not going to get all of our tax dollars donated all over the world anymore. Who? What a shame. I guess I'd be freaking out too if all of a sudden it meant that I wasn't going to get any free money from a globalist government. Let's face it, Hillary Clinton was a globalist. So was Obama and every other president, right back to Reagan.
Okay, so let's say he's not insane. What about the charge that he's a narcissist? And does it matter?
I believe you'd have to say everybody that ever ran for office is a narcissist. If you're not sold on yourself, how are you going to sell anybody else on yourself? And if you're not the center of your own little world, how are you going to rise to the cream of the crop, so to speak? So probably every president anybody that's been president is at least somewhat of a narcissist. But the politician in them doesn't show that. The politician in them says, "Oh, we love you." What they really mean is, yes, you love me, don't you? And that's pretty much where it sits. Look at Obama. You want to talk about somebody with narcissistic? My goodness. He just oozed narcissism.
So you feel that Obama more of a narcissist than Trump?
Not without a doubt. Trump is just a lot more successful of a narcissist in the actual world. And when I say success, what did Obama do to the United States in the last 8 years? Here's somebody that came on the scene. And we all expected him to, I'm going to quote Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter said that Obama was the best possibility that we could have for peace in the Middle East. The record shows that Obama dropped one bomb every 20 minutes in the Middle East, or at least one bomb was dropped on every 20 minutes under his administration. So what he was expecting, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. What for?
He was given that almost, I don't know.
Yeah, about a year after he came into office. What the heck did he get? And what did he do? Why'd they give him the Peace Prize? Because everybody loved him, so let's give him the Peace Prize? That was a crock of crap. It was about 4 years later, the Nobel Commission that voted Obama to get that Peace Prize wanted it back, and the box that it came in. Yeah, true story. They wanted their Peace Prize back, and the box that it came in. I don't think they ever got it.
And the $1 million?
I guess that was inconsequential, But Obama's come in here and look what his net worth was before he came into office, and look what his net worth is now. How did he make that money? How was he able to buy all these places?
Well, they broke it down. I saw an article on it. He has, book sales, the income from being president.
Donations from Soros.
Right, yeah. Briefcases full of money.
Soros is pissed because he can't influence Trump. He bought Obama. He bought Hillary. He was in bed with the Bushes. He can't buy Trump. Trump can't be bought. But you know who can be bought? Black Lives Matter. All these protest groups that rise up. All these people that show up at protests dressed in black with black masks on.
I don't know if they're necessarily being bought, but they're being funded. They have their own agenda. You just need to fund it. You don't need to tell them what to do.
Well, if I'm whoa. He who has the gold makes the rules. We all know that. And if I'm funding a group to the tune of over $100 million, you better believe that they're going to be carrying out my agenda.
Is that how much money it is?
I believe that he's donated $150 million to different groups within the United States, including Black Lives Matter. I read so many numbers. It's hard to keep track of which one goes where. But yeah, Soros they've dumped. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at the donations that she's gotten, and she was carrying. I got to see what happens here. They're supposed to be ready to be handing out a bunch of arrest warrants. We're going to see where this goes, because this might be the opening of the Pandora's box and the fulfillment of a major biblical prophecy, which has to do with the man of lawlessness, which is the Pope, not the black Pope, the white Pope, the head of the Holy See, which is an illegal Pope because Jesuits cannot hold a position of Pope over the Holy See. And so here you've got a president that's not under their control. They're all upset. They're all upset, and they're doing everything that they can. These are the same guys that own CNN and other news outlets, the fake news, the ones that have been manipulating the news.
Trump has many ties to Jesuism too, no?
He's got ties to the Jesuits. He's got ties to the Zionists. He's got ties all over the place. You got to remember, this is a guy who's used banksters and politicians for the last 40 years. He's used these people. You don't think that you're going to get a skyscraper built in New York City without having to go before abide, first of all, by a whole lot of building code, dealing with the mob who controls the unions, dealing with the political system who's going to give you the permits. I was involved in something directly counter to Trump years ago. The company that I worked for was promoting a casino to come to the Catskills, and they were lobbying the Albany, the state capital, and Trump was totally against it. He was also lobbying the state capital. Why? Because he had a casino down in Atlantic City, and he'd rather see the people from New York City go down to Atlantic City to his casino as opposed to building a new casino up in the Catskills. So he lobbied against it. He used the political system, and he was successful. So now all of a sudden he's the user of these people, and they realize he's the president now, and they're all about to get used. So, think about it. You have to juxtaposition of the mindset, because it's not a politician that's president. It's a successful businessman. Look at Ross Perot. If anybody can remember back to Ross Perot just took America by storm. I could tell you exactly Ross Perot's personality. The listeners wouldn't quite understand it, but Ross Perot is somebody that goes by facts and figures. That's why he always had his pie charts. That's why he always had his charts. He has the same mindset as an accountant does. Accountants love facts and figures. They can tell the world by facts and figures. I've lost business deals and dealing at literally 1/100th of a cent dealing with accountants. 1/100th of a cent I've lost business deals with. I had the president of the company sold. He said, well, go deal with accounting. I was like, oh, God, here we go. Anyway, but that's the mindset of the man that's in office. And like I said, they dictate. Businessmen dictate.